welcome as we're going to continue our discovery of the planets. If you haven't watched episode 1 through 6, please go back and rewatch so that you can catch up where we are. Today we're going to cover the sun. It's episode 7 of our continuing discovery. The sun is a daily celestial wonder that brings heat and light to our planet. The sun formed about 4.6 billion years ago from the collapse of a part of giant molecular clouds that consist mostly of hydrogen and helium, and that probably give birth to many other stars. This age is estimated using computer models of stellar evolution. The sun is 93 million miles away, and it only takes 8 minutes to reach the sun's light to our planet. The result is consistent with the radiometric date of the oldest solar system material at 4.56 billion years ago. Studies of the Indian meteorite revealed traces of stable Doron nuclei of short-lived isotopes such as iron that form only in exploding short-lived stars. This indicates that one or more supernova must also occur near the location where the sun formed. A shock wave from the nearby supernova would have triggered the formation of the sun by compressing the matter within the molecule clouds and causing certain regions to collapse under their own gravity. As one fragment of the cloud collapsed, it also began to rotate due to conservation and angular momentum, and that heats up with the increasing pressure. Much of the mass became concentrated in the center, whereas the rest flattened out into the disk that would become the planets and other solar system bodies. Gravity and pressure within the core of the cloud generated a lot of heat as it accumulated more matter from the surrounding disk, eventually triggering nuclear fusion. The sun does not have enough mass to explode as a supernova. Instead, when it runs out of hydrogen in the core in approximately 5 billion years, core hydrogen fusion will stop, and there will be nothing to prevent the core from contracting. The release of the gravitational potential energy will cause the luminosity of the sun to increase, ending the main sequence phase and leading the sun to expand over the next billion years. First into the subgiant and then into red giant. The heating due to gravitational contraction will also lead to expansion of the sun and hydrogen fusion in a shell just outside the core, where unfused hydrogen remains, contributing to the increased luminosity, which will eventually reach more than 1,000 times at its present luminosity. When the sun enters its red giant branch phase, it will engulf and very likely destroy Mercury and Venus. According to 2008 papers, Earth's orbit will have initially expanded at almost 140 million miles due to the sun's loss of mass. However, Earth's orbit will then start shrinking due to the tidal forces and eventually drag from the lower chromosphere, so that it is engulfed by the sun during the tip of the red giant branch phase at 7.59 billion years from now, 3.8 and 1 million years after Mercury and Venus have respectively suffered the same fate. By the time the sun reaches the tip of the red giant branch, it will be 256 times larger than it is today, with a radius of 1.111 million miles. The sun will spend around 1 billion years in the red giant and lose around a third of its. The Sun has 8 known planets orbiting it. These include 4 terrestrial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, 2 gas giants, Jupiter and Saturn, and 2 ice giants, Uranus and Neptune. The solar system also has 9 bodies generally considered as dwarf planets, and some more candidates and asteroid belts, numerous comets, and a large number of icy bodies which lie beyond the orbit of Neptune. 6 of the planets and many smaller bodies also have their own natural satellites. In particular, the satellite system of Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus are in some ways like miniature version of the Sun system. The Sun is moved by the gravitational pull of planets. The center of the Sun moves around the solar system barycenter within a range from 0.1 to 2.2 solar radius. The Sun's motion around the barycenter approximately repeats every 179 years, rotated by about 30 degrees due to preliminary to the synodic period of Jupiter and Saturn. So next time you are laying on the Sun beach enjoying the sun, remember it is generated 93 million miles away, and it only took 8 minutes to give us life here on Earth. Far in the future, the hydrogen fusion in the Sun's core diminishes to the point where the Sun is no longer in hydrostatic equilibrium. Its core will undergo a marked increase in the density, and temperature will cause its outer layers to expand, eventually transforming the Sun into a red giant. This process will make the Sun large enough to render Earth inhabitable approximately 5 billion years from the present. Subsequently, the Sun will shed its outer layers and become a dense type of cooling star, a white dwarf, and no longer produces energy by fusion, but it will still glow and give off heat from its previous fusion for trillions of years to come. After that, it is theorized to become a super dense black dwarf, giving off negligibility in energy. So, again, remember, next time when you're on that beach, enjoying running the sand, having fun, remember, it will always be there, and it will always be, because that's what we expect. So enjoy and have fun on that beach. Thank you for listening.